팀 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys, here we are on Antigua Shipyard, and down at the bottom in the red, representing the team NSHoSeo, a very strong Protoss player, a GSL Code A finalist. Didn't win, but he did make it to the finals. It is NSH.Tassadar. And in the top left part of the map, playing as the blue Terran for the team Prime, it is someone whose name sounds like Maru, so it's probably very confusing in that Code A match between him and this guy. It is Maru.Prime.
Maru and Maru. I actually haven't watched the VOD from that because I want to see who casted that. Was it Wolf or was it?
I believe it was Kaldor and Wolf. Yes.
Was it Kaldor and Wolf?
I believe it was those two. Both of those guys will be at IPL 4 as well.
That's
fun
true.
To see them again.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are going to have not just them, but also other people from the GSL, because the GSTL finals are going to be played out at IPL 4 at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, April 6th through the 8th. So if you guys have not bought your tickets yet, again, it's tickets.ign.com. We've sold a lot of tickets, and it's really cool to see the crowd that's going to be out there. And so I hope to see you all out there as well.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be cool. I mean, the crowd at IPL 3 was a lot of fun. It was a great crowd, but it'll be cool to see a more densely populated live audience this time around. So things are looking really great in that regard so far. So I can't wait to see that.
And Maru, we'll see if he drops down gas at the normal time, if he's going to try and bypass that for some sort of a quick expand build. And he has already queued up 2 more SCVs, so he has no intention of getting gas right now.
Yep, it's a worker fighting time here. But Tassadar should get a good look at what's going on and not be surprised. He's like, all right, you are probably going to build a command center. Pretty sure it's not going to be the 6 racks all in for beta.
Well, that would be awesome if it was.
Someday people will start doing that again, and someone other than TLO, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
He still does it every once in a while because he is just awesome like that. But
because he can pull it off. So.
That's right. Well, it's just more effective to do with less barracks, but 6 is just so much more fun.
It's true, especially off of that one base and lots of SCVs and bit-by-bit style. But Maru's teammate, MKP, of course, has been using that 1 racks gasless FE into 5 racks build a few times.
That is very true. Yeah, not all in at all, but it does give you a big group of Marines to do damage with early on. So that is a strong build on occasion. And there's the command center on the low ground as well. So Maru.Prime, feeling very safe here. And what is that probe doing over on the left side of the map there?
Ooh,
it's kind of hanging out, I wonder.
Well, this is a pretty good location for, if you built a pylon down here and runs the probe around out of vision, so he can warp things in pretty close to his opponents.
Very true, very true. Also a possibility that you can hide a Stargate around there as well.
Oh, yes.
That's a possibility. There are 2 gas very, very early. So, very early. So this could be, I don't know, it could be a lot of things. It could be DTs even. We'll have to see. I mean, with a gasless expand like the one that Maru is doing, if you neglect to get that engineering base, sometimes you're at a bit of a risk. Usually Terran players will save some energy for scans, but occasionally you get lucky and they don't, and the probe just moves away, so I guess he was just kind of hiding there for a little bit.
He is okay with doing some cheesy things once in a while, though. I believe we saw that it was Tassadar who was the final opponent of MKP when he all-killed NSHoSeo in the GSTL, and Tassadar tried to Void Ray all in him, didn't he?
It might have been. I believe it was the proxy Void Ray. I reviewed some of those games today, but then I ended up just watching like a dozen games, and they're all blending together already. That's what happens. These guys have played a lot lately, actually.
They really have.
Yep. Becoming a little bit of a rivalry, I think, in the team league. Scene in Korea.
Certainly been a good one because both these guys have been really impressing me lately. The younger players for Prime, Maru included, Creator especially, have been taking some games off incredible players. And then NSHoSeo, the cool thing about NSHoSeo is that it's always been a different person each time, whether it's Sage or Seal or Jokji. Someone has always been able to step up and take a number of games in a row when they need it in the clutch.
You raise an interesting topic of conversation there because NSHoSeo, like you said, does seem to have just a very solid lineup altogether, right? They've got a lot of people that have a lot of wins, whereas Prime have basically been kind of riding on the shoulders of Marine King and Creator, essentially their team has a lot of talent. I believe Maru is good. Boong Boong is a great Zerg player. Young isn't bad himself either, but in general, it's been Creator and Marine King that have gotten the most of their victories at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would put MKP on par, if not better, than Jokji at this moment. And I would put, the way he's been playing lately and stuff like that. And I would put Creator. I think he can snipe any Terran player in the world on a big map. Nice. Force field catch the SCV there. and he will eventually go down. But if I'm talking about just pure depth, once you get past those 2 players for Prime, I would take San, Sage, Seal, even Tassadar to a degree above a lot of the players on Prime. That's not taking anything away from them. It just shows how deep NSHoSeo's roster is really becoming.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about this earlier today where there seems to be teams that are kind of coming up through in Korea. Basically, Slayers was the first one. They were terrible at first. They couldn't win a thing. And then they came up, won 2 team leagues in the GSTL. Then you had MVP. Had a kind of a weak lineup at first, but those players ended up getting very good. They won 2 GSTLs now, and I feel like NSHoSeo is going to be the next team that does that. I really believe that this is the next team that's going to become dominant in team situations in Korea. If they haven't already, I mean, they're already winning a lot.
I know that they don't have the deepest pockets out of a lot of teams in Korea and things like that, but it's nice to see that they're developing. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Developing their own talent in-house. So
who needs cash when your pockets are filled with amazing build orders?
That's true.
Great macro. That's what I want to fill my pockets with, man.
Yeah, and
keep cash.
Something I'm sadly lacking at the moment. So
I don't have either.
Well, back here though, we do have 3 racks. Maru doing very, very standard stuff. 3 racks into double gas, prioritizing his upgrades as he does have +1 and stim pack on the way, and then putting up his startboard right after that. So, but he'll be able to move into medevacs pretty soon. His opponent Tassadar, on the other hand, is just sitting on 3-gate robo. +1 armor's making its way out, and there is a Twilight Council down. But it's... Oh, there we go. Finally, Blink. I was about to say it's not been utilized for anything yet.
Yep, that's right. And did he get +1 weapons already?
And no, he did not.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Tassadar loves to get that plus armor upgrade before anything else in PvT. We see him do this nearly every time he plays this matchup. That's not surprising at all. I even watched a game earlier where he went up to +2 armor, in fact, before any sort of weapon upgrades. Just really, really trying to minimize the damage that the Marines do. And then he went for exactly this, High Templar. So this is a pretty classic Tassadar PvT right now. Just getting a Blink to keep the Stalkers a little bit safer, getting a lot of armor upgrades, and going High Templar. He loves to do this type of strategy against Terran, and it can be quite effective from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a 2-base Templar push on Tal'Dorei Malter the other day. That, well, a little bit of luck involved there as well. As,
yeah, a little bit.
About 20 bio units stepped up and said, "I'm here!" Oh, you have storms.
That's and they were not there.
Yes.
Yeah. Fast 3rd base here for Maru.Prime. He's moving out with a bit of a force. Does have stim. No combat shields quite yet. Looks like it will finish just in time for this attack to hit, as well as combat, or as well as concussive shells, rather.
Yeah.
Is going to finish too. He's got a couple medevacs with this, so this could be a pretty strong push for Tassadar to have to deal with.
He did just finish up that 3rd command center now, adding in 2 more barracks at the same time. Do we have any other upgrades coming up? No, because he's researched them all, including concussive shell and combat shields, like you said. So,
except for Reaper speed. He doesn't have that one, surprisingly.
Which I'm sorely disappointed, because I was fully anticipating an 11-minute switch to Reapers.
Those mid-game Reapers, you never know. You might see them every once in a while.
You never know what you're going to get. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
That? I'm trying to remember.
Let's see. Boxer did it in the set of matches that we casted against Minigun.
Yeah. Okay, that's much less surprising. Boxer loves to do that.
He does.
Cute little micro stuff. It's quite cool, though.
Maru sharking about in the middle of the map. Tassadar just sitting on 2 bases for now. His Templar Archives is done, but he has not decided to research Storm quite yet. He does have Charge making its way out as well.
Yeah, and there's that +2 armor as well. So yeah, that's classic Tassadar right here. This is his style in Protoss versus Terran. He loves to stick to it. Does play the matchup a little bit differently than a lot of other Protoss players choose to. You know, rather than going for the double forge here, he just sits on 1 forge, concentrates on survivability for his units, and just techs to Templar really quickly.
And he does now have Storm on the way. His opponent has been macroing like mad. Of course, Tassadar's investment in the tech has been a little bit heavier, but I'm still very, very impressed with the way Maru... Oh, God, he's got 3 bunkers coming up the front, watching all these 3 bases, and the infrastructure that he's already built for himself. He'll be able to produce a ton of units and upgrades very soon, even finishing up his Ghost Academy, and has Mobius Reactor on the way.
Yeah, he's just going to probably try to hit 200 before he does much of anything, and then move out with a huge Marine army, Marine Medevac Marauder with Ghosts added to it as well. Just kind of taking control of the middle of the map there. He might decide to try to take the gold here, but we'll see. He doesn't really need it at this point. He can make a huge army even without doing this.
And Storm's just finishing for Tassadar as well. But Maru, he's defending his bunkers with the supply depots up at the front, creating choke points everywhere. This is so good.
It's a great idea, too. French player Karn would always talk about how great using supply depots in front of bunkers against Protoss was, and it's something you just don't see a lot of Terran players do. Obviously, with charge lots, they're going to be much less effective with those bunkers in position. The Marines are going to be able to fire for quite a while, but that's where the +2 armor kicks in, so might still be enough. Looks like Tassadar wants to try to attack here.
All right, he's going to go for it and rolls his way up to the front. Maru's already waiting, but that's just begging for a storm on the left-hand side. The Templar are very, very slow, though, and Tassadar hasn't been able to engage quite all that well through this little choke point.
No.
And that's actually kind of ended up into Sassy. He actually pops out just as the first ghost hit as well, so while he does a little bit of damage with storms, it's not nearly enough, and that ended up really, really bad for him.
A lot of ghosts dying there too, though, for Maru.Prime. He does lose, well, a couple ghosts there as well, but that wall really, really worked wonders. I mean, even though it wasn't a complete wall, it delayed the Zealots so much. That was quite well done defensively by Maru. He's got a significant lead right now.
Yeah, he does.
Got to come up and defend this third, though.
And Tassadar put up his third way after his opponent, so he's not been able to realize the production from that quite yet. His supply is slowly creeping upwards, and there's already those more ghosts being added in.
Here we go.
There's a stim from Maru, backs up underneath the storm. Oh, wow! Sends a few of his units forward to try and pick off a couple of Templar. Unfortunately, Tassadar was right on top of that, so Maru was not able to get the kills that he wanted.
Yeah, he had a great defense at the choke point, but a very, very weak defense at his third. In fact, no defense, really.
Yeah.
Picks off some Zealots there, but loses the command center. That is huge. Tassadar absolutely needs that to happen. Oh, but there's a drop at the third. He's losing his Nexus.
Boom! There it goes, and all of a sudden that damage was just neutralized. Tassadar does not want to play on even footing right now, down almost 60 supply.
Yes, indeed. Maru.Prime with the nice drop to counteract things. Another command center being started by him at the third base. Now he's going to have to put a nice little defensive wall at the top of that ramp as well. Tassadar, though, you know, he's catching up. I mean, supply-wise, he's getting a little bit closer here. He's got his third base coming up, and it's not going to be all that much slower than Maru's now at this point. One of the big differences, though, is the upgrades. Look at that. +1 weapons only now just about finishing for Tassadar, whereas it's +2 armor and +3 infantry weapons already finishing up for Maru.Prime. I suppose +3 infantry weapons. That's a little while ago yet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's going to need to cancel this Nexus maybe. Oh, no, turning to target some Templar.
Oh, very nice. Takes out a couple and gives positioning for his units on the left-hand side. Oh, the EMPs hitting so many Archons. They don't stand a chance. One storm does connect with a large amount of units, but even that is not going to be enough. These Zealots are just getting killed before they even swing once.
Oh, man, this is just too much for Tassadar to handle. The supply was too much. GG.
GG.
Maru.Prime coming in and evening things up.